I want all of you to know it's 1 in the morning and I just got done recording this twice. I'm very upset right now. Hey Vsauce, Michael here. Do chairs exist? I think that's a topic for another day. Anyways, photosynthesis. Science. Do you know how photosynthesis works? I'm just gonna read from my script. I'm not gonna try to do it as much. She's already leaving. Anyways, go ahead. What is photosynthesis? We're all gonna pretend like she said plants and water and sunlight, okay? Wrong. What else? Well, somewhat. Plants don't do anything. The cells, they do all the work. What are cells? No, I don't mean the thing that Young Thug and Gunna are behind. Free Young Thug, free Gunna. No one's gonna get that joke. I'm sorry, me editing this. I mean the cells that everyday living things are made out of. Cells are little living beings that are made up of organelles. What are organelles, you ask? Organelles do individual jobs that come together to make each cell. Now, you might be wondering, Michael, what does this have to do with photo? Shut up. Organelles are responsible for photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis goes like this. Ow, ow, I'm being stabbed. That's not part of the process. Absorption of light, transfer of electrons, production of ATP, carbon fixation. Now you might be asking. Okay, I'm done. But seriously, the process goes even deeper than this. Depending on the plants and the type of environment the plant lives and thrives in, a lot of the parts of photosynthesis come back to the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle is a cycle of chemical reactions where the carbon from the carbon cycle is fixed onto sugars. It occurs in the chloroplast of the plant cell. At the site of the Calvin cycle reaction, there are sugars made. The Calvin cycle can also be called light-independent cycles. Later we will go over to light-dependent cycles. In the Calvin cycle, carbon atoms are fixed, and they are used to make three carbon sugars. This process is fueled by and dependent on ADP and NADPH from the light reactions. Unlike the light reactions which take place in the thylakoid membrane, the reactions of the Calvin cycle take place in the stoma. CO2 combines with 3 RUBP acceptors, making 6 molecules of glyceride 3-phosphate. ATP gets converted to ADP and NADPH gets converted to NADP. Now remember earlier when I said we would talk about light-dependent reactions? Tread lightly, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. The light-dependent reactions convert energy into chemical reaction. The light-dependent reactions convert energy onto chemical energy. Light-dependent reactions convert light energy into chemical energy. The light-dependent reactions convert light energy into chemical energy. The goal of light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis is to collect energy from the sun and break down water molecules to produce ATP and NADPH. The 5 steps of light-dependent reactions are: photostem absorb light energy. Electrons move down the electron transport chain, providing energy to pump protons into the thylakoid membrane. Lumen. Photosphorylation. I'm not even making this up. Water photolysis. Reduction of NADP+. Now let's move on like Kim Kardashian and talk about the next topic. No, it's not Pete. Electron transport chain, or ETC, in plants and ETC in plants, an ETC serves to oxidize NADPH. Free energy is released when the redox reactions of the ETC are coupled to the active transport of protons across the membrane. The result is a change gradient of H plus ions, as well as a pH gradient. Since protons are changed, the proton gradient is also an chemical reaction, electrical gradient. In a kind of shorthand, we say that the free energy is once reduced substrates is now a electrochemical gradient. That gradient free energy is captured in a ATP synthesis reactions coupled to the flow of protons back across the membrane in the process called oxidative photosphorylation. Photophorylation. In aerobic respiration, electrons are ultimately transferred from component at the end of the ETC to a final electron acceptor molecule, oxygen, O2 making water. In photosynthesis, electron transfer reduces CO2 to sugar. Fermentation is the next topic. Unlike this conversation, fermentation takes a long time. Fermentation takes carbon dioxide and water, and over the course of time you get glucose and oxygen. The Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle breaks glucose and produces energy, water, and carbon dioxide molecules. Photosynthesis process is completely opposite of the process in which plants use carbon dioxide and water to, in the presence of sunlight, to reduce sugar or glucose and oxygen molecules. Is glycolysis. The main function of glycolysis is to oxidize hexosis and to provide ATP, reducing power and pyruvate, and the production precursors of anabolism. In plants, this metabolic process occurs in the cytole and plastids of both photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organs. Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science. Let's get to the roll credits. Well, for your credits, you got me. I did everything. You also got Mr. Minecraft Pig back there. And my axolotl Lottie. Their background characters. And then we got our co-host. Not named yet. Anyways, yeah. Roll Tide.